investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. Starting with the indexes. The BRVM Composite, which measures the overall market trend, closed at 320.80 points. That's an increase of 0.12% on the day, after declining for 2 consecutive days and more than 16% since the beginning of the year. To put it in simple terms, if you had invested 100,000 francs CFA in a broad market portfolio in January, that would be worth about 116,000 francs CFA today. The BRVM 30, which tracks the 30 largest companies on the exchange, also advanced. It gained 0.28% to finish at 157.68 points. Since the start of the year, this index is up more than 13%. That's a clear sign of sustained momentum. Meanwhile, the BRVM Prestige Index, which covers premium large-cap stocks, stayed almost flat at 134.12 points. It slipped only 0.05% on the day, but still holds a year-to-date performance of nearly 17%. What's even more striking is the activity level. Trading volume surged to nearly 580,000 shares, up more than 19%, and the total value traded jumped more than 78% to reach 1.47 billion francs CFA. In short, investors were highly active and liquidity returned strongly to the market. Let's move on to the top gainers of the day. 3 stocks really stood out. First, Sicor Côte d'Ivoire climbed 7.20% to close at 3,945 francs CFA per share. Even though its year-to-date performance is still slightly negative, this sharp rebound signals renewed investor confidence. For active investors, it suggests that Sicor might offer a short-term turnaround opportunity. Next, Liquide Côte d'Ivoire also gained 7.20%, finishing the day at 670 francs CFA. Its momentum has been remarkable. The stock is already up 34% since January. For perspective, if you had put 1 million francs CFA into Liquide at the start of the year, it would now be worth about 1.34 million. Then there's Setao Côte d'Ivoire, up 7.04% to 760 francs CFA. Over the past 12 months, the stock has surged nearly 69%. This makes Setao an attractive bet for those who believe in the long-term strength of infrastructure and construction across the region. Other winners included Ecobank Transnational Incorporated, which advanced 5.88% to 18 francs CFA, supported by heavy volumes of nearly 296,000 shares traded. Its year-to-date growth is more than 12%. This reflects investor appetite for Pan-African financial institutions, and Société Ivoirienne de Banque added 4.95%, reaching 5,405 francs CFA, with an impressive annual gain of 52%. These gains concentrated in banking and industry show 2 important trends. First, the financial sector remains the heartbeat of the BRVM, benefiting from strong margins and rising credit demand. Second, industrials are attracting capital as governments push infrastructure projects and urban consumption continues to grow. Now, on the losing side, some stocks corrected sharply. Unilever Côte d'Ivoire fell 7.50% to 33,245 francs CFA. But here's the context. Despite this daily decline, Unilever remains the standout of the year, up more than 400% since January. For investors, this drop is a reminder that after extraordinary rallies, it's normal to see profit-taking. Bernabé Côte d'Ivoire slipped 7.36% to 1,510 francs CFA, even though the stock has gained 42% year-to-date. Servair Abidjan dropped just over 4% to 1,725 francs CFA. And Orange Côte d'Ivoire lost 2.74%, ending at 14,200 francs CFA, continuing a downward trend seen over several months. For investors, these movements raise the classic question. Are these temporary dips and buying opportunities, or signals of deeper challenges in fundamentals? Let's check the sector indexes. Financial services stood out with a 1.119% gain on the day, and nearly 29% growth so far this year. This confirms that banks remain the main growth engine of the BRVM. Agriculture also advanced, up 0.78%, thanks to leaders such as SOGB and Palm Côte d'Ivoire. Over 12 months, agricultural stocks have risen almost 69%. For investors, this highlights once again how exposure to cocoa, palm oil, and related agribusiness can be a reliable source of returns. Industrials gained 0.68%, with companies like Sicor and Setao driving the upward trend. Utilities improved 0.62%, proving that electricity and water distribution stocks remain defensive assets, useful for stabilizing portfolios. On the flip side, consumer staples slipped 1.27%, pulled down by Unilever's correction, and distribution stocks edged lower by 0.48%. Now, let's look at the bond market. Trading was very light. Only 169 bonds were exchanged for a total value of just 1.68 million francs CFA, a sharp drop of nearly 100% compared with the previous session. But despite this, government bonds from countries like Mali, Senegal, and Burkina Faso continue to offer net yields in the range of 6% to 7%. In particular, the 10-year Senegalese bond and the 8-year Burkinabe bond stand out as attractive instruments for investors seeking stable income. For an individual investor, this means that even with a modest portfolio, it's possible to combine fast-growing stocks with the steady yield bonds, building both growth and security. So to sum up, the trading session of September 10, 2025, shows a midweek rebound across the BRVM. Indexes advanced, volumes traded increased strongly, and industrial and banking stocks were the clear winners of the day. The key lesson for investors: the BRVM continues to provide opportunities for both rapid growth and stable returns. Diversification across equities and bonds remains essential. And if you want to take your investing to the next level, remember that Daba Pro is here for you. With Daba Pro, you receive exclusive weekly recommendations, detailed stock analyses, reduced fees, and premium data to help you make better decisions. With Daba Pro, you don't just follow the markets, you get ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your app store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.